Tiddlywinks Productions is a 10-year-old company that develops software for editing video and audio files. In the past, they were the first to introduce new concepts such as layers and the ability to merge two scenes into one. Tiddlywinks currently has over 200 employees. The majority are in sales and customer support. There are 25 in development, quality assurance, and production support. The problem is they still operate like they did when it was just the 3 original owners working as a startup. Steven, the Chief Executive Officer of Tiddlywinks Productions, is still stuck between bickering departments and software development issues. His customers are frustrated by the constant software crashes and the slow software modifications.
Hi, my name is Steven. I'm the CEO of Tiddlywinks Productions. My biggest problem at the moment is Tiddlywinks can't get software modifications from development to production without a lot of arguments and bickering between the development manager, quality assurance manager, and system administration manager. When the last deployment crashed our production server, I knew we needed help. So I've asked Dan, who's a highly qualified software production manager, to review our development from quality assurance to production workflow and see if he can offer some suggestions on how to improve our situation. Dan, thanks for stopping by.
My pleasure.
Dan, my company needs help. We have a severe case of, it works on my development computer. I can't help if it doesn't work on your test or production computer. We simply can't continue to operate like this. Our deployments over the past couple of years have gotten worse and worse. We deploy our software in 2 phases. Phase 1 is the introduction of new capabilities. Phase 1 software is released to in-house users only for 6 months before being released worldwide, which is Phase 2. This has caused the production server to crash from time to time. I know deploying straight to production is not a good idea, but it's the best solution we can come up with to get bugs fixed in our production code in a reasonable amount of time. Last week, both releases occurred at the same day, and it crashed our production server. It was down for 2 days before Hank, one of our sysadmins, was able to patch a common use library to get it back online. In addition to our normal developments, we have a small team of developers working on a project codenamed Patterns. We think Patterns will revolutionize the video and audio editing world. We plan to release it for immediate worldwide sales in 1 month. If Patterns is as big as a hit as we think, I don't think our current infrastructure will support it. Tiddlywinks Productions doesn't have the resources to buy more servers, and I don't want to go to venture capitalists for funding. Now that you see the dilemma I'm in, do you think you can help?
I believe I can. I'd like to spend some time in each area and get a feel of how they operate. Also, I need to be able to suggest changes and have them implemented.
No problem, Dan. I'll put out an email to all managers explaining who you are and what you're doing. I'll make it clear that if anyone has a problem with a suggestion you make, they are to implement the suggestion first and then come to me after it has been implemented. Now, where would you like to start?
Let's start at the beginning of the software development lifecycle. Let's see how requirements are introduced.
Yeah, that would be Carmen, our product development manager.
All right, let's go see Carmen.
Hey, Carmen, meet Dan. Dan was a product manager on the widgets project I worked on at In-House Consumables. According to IHC, widgets was the only IT project they ever had that came in ahead of schedule and under budget. I'm hoping Dan can work some of that magic on Tiddlywinks. Any suggestions he makes are to be implemented when he says and how he says. Any questions?
Not at all, sir. All help is greatly appreciated. We've canceled the last 2 scheduled releases of Patterns. If we don't get it to market next month, we may be shutting down. Our rival is eating us alive. I just got the latest numbers. They're selling 3 copies of their software to our 1.
I know. I saw the same report. Dan, call me if you need anything from me. Otherwise, I'll see you.
Will do. I'll see you later on. Carmen, I'm a simple-minded guy. My brain works when I can see a picture of something. I want to draw a simple flow diagram of the entire Tiddlywinks software development lifecycle. First, how many active projects do you have right now?
Patterns is our biggest and most important project. We have our own HR system which requires continuous updating. Plus, each manager on the company usually has a pet project. For those, they normally go directly to their favorite IT person, bypassing our supposedly mandatory project tracking system.
From the way you said mandatory, I take it not everyone uses the project tracking system, correct?
Nobody uses it. It's slow, outdated, and very difficult to use.
So how do you keep track of who's working on what?
At least once a week, I walk around and talk to all the developers and ask them, what are they working on and who gave them their directions? I write their comments into a notebook, then I come back here and either update a current entry or make a new entry. If I don't have the project on a spreadsheet, I keep it on my laptop.
May I see the spreadsheet? These are all the active projects?
Those are the ones I know about as of last Thursday.
Oh man, you've got Fort Lauderdale on spring break out there. Our first priority is to establish some order in this chaos. Have you did any research into DevOps?
Yeah, you mean the development process that uses Docker and Kubernetes, right?
Those are two of the tools used by a lot of DevOps shops. However, DevOps is first and foremost a development culture. It isn't just the tools you use or a new job title. Moving from a toss a job over the wall mindset to DevOps can be painful. Everyone involved will have to get out of their comfort zones.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. I'm willing to share. I've been out of my comfort zone for a couple of years now. How do we get started?
Let's separate your project list by manager. Then we'll go to those managers and find out why their projects are more important than patterns or HR system upgrades.
Hey, good morning, Dan. I've got the must-have projects lined up like we talked about yesterday afternoon.
Well, it seems like everyone's on board with patterns and HR taking priority, except for James.
Yeah, as you saw during our interviews yesterday, James is our company blowhard and bully. He's constantly threatening developers he'll have their job if they don't do his project immediately.
Since I don't have a job here for him to take, starting right now, I'm assuming full responsibility for developer job assignments. We need your two best and brightest and hardest working people for site reliability engineer assignments.
Yeah, that would be Roger and Linda. But what's a site reliability engineer?
I think of a site reliability engineer as a diplomat, well-versed in project management, software development, computer operations, with a working knowledge of databases and networking.
Sounds like they should come charging in dressed like Captain America.
Don't lose that image. If Roger and Linda accept my job offer, you may start thinking of them in those terms.
Carmen called Roger and Linda. They all agreed to meet in Carmen's conference room at 1 p.m.
I asked for the two best employees from development, QA, or operations for a special assignment. Carmen told me that you were the two absolute best in the company. Would each of you give me a thumbnail sketch of your current job and your background? Linda, let's start with you.
I'm one of 3 developers assigned to HR updates. I have an associate's degree in CIS from a local community college.
Do you ever get pulled off your HR project to work on special jobs?
Just about every day.
I see. Roger?
I'm currently assigned to operations. I was in development, but I was getting pulled off so much to look at server problems that about 8 months ago, I was transferred to operations full time. I have a bachelor's degree in computer science from Stanford and an MBA from Wharton Business School.
With those credentials, seems like you should be in management.
They tried. I told them I would quit first. I like it in the trenches.
I understand. Basically, I feel the same way. The job I have in mind for you is called a site reliability engineer. Roger, you will work patterns and only patterns. Linda, you will work HR upgrades and only HR upgrades. I want you to start thinking in terms of trains instead of cargo ships. We are going to start immediately with making one change and walking it all the way through to production. Then coming back to the beginning, picking up another change, and walking it all the way through to production. Any questions?
Can you clarify what you meant by walking it through to production?
Until you get a working solution established and documented, you and the developer that made the change will check the software into the version control system. Then both of you will go to the tester assigned and test the change and discuss with them what change was made and why you made them. Under no circumstances will a tester be allowed to touch any software until they get a full and complete face-to-face briefing from the developer that made the change. When the tester is satisfied with the change, all three of you go to the system administrator assigned to install it on the production server and explain to him or her what was changed, why it was changed, and what testing uncovered.
I don't know about patterns, but for the HR developers, we don't have a version control system.
How do you move the change software from developer to QA?
Everyone has a shared drive on their computer that maps to a directory on a Linux server via Samba. We simply copy our source code into that directory.
Roger, how about patterns?
We have the same process. It might even be to the same server.
Carmen, it looks like it's time to make a projects list and a fix-it list. Can we get some 3x5 cards?
Sure, if there's none available, I'll have someone run down to the office supply store and pick some up. What are we going to do with them?
Until Patterns is launched, we are going to make everything we do highly visible. Carmen, when you send someone to the office supply store, have them pick up a roll of white paper. Also, we need some place with a lot of traffic that everyone goes by at least once a day.
I'll go myself. You mean a roll of paper like butcher's paper, right?
Exactly. We need about 20 feet of uninterruptible wall space to tape 3 lengths of paper to. One strip will be for patterns, one for HR upgrades, and one for testing and operations. We'll list every developer, tester, and sysadmin on it with 3 columns for each of them: pending, in work, and completed. Linda and Roger, coordinate with your developers and have them make a priorities list of requirements they plan on working on for the next 2 weeks. Each one of you will put together a text document listing every task you come up with from your group. Don't try to prioritize a list. All we want right now is a shopping list of the tasks yet to be accomplished. Have them text me and Carmen, the one they're working on right now, and the one they plan on working on next. When you have moved the tasks to quality assurance, have them send us a text stating the fact. Then the task they are going to work on, and the one after that. Make sure they understand they are sending a text message, no emails or phone calls. I want to make sure Carmen and I get the same messages, and I want complete traceability back to the person that sent the text. As Carmen and I get the text messages, we'll move the 3x5 card from that task to its appropriate slot. Starting tomorrow morning, the 4 of us, plus anyone that would like to attend, will conduct daily briefings on what was accomplished and what is planned for today. Any questions?
You don't think they should info us on the text?
If you think you need them, you can.
I think I'll double space my shopping list of tasks. That way, if steps are finished, I can make a note on it and do daily updates.
Good idea. I'll do the same.
This is our final daily briefing. I'll stop by when you roll out patterns. In the meantime, you have my phone number. Any comments, questions, or anything?
The past 2 weeks have been the busiest and at times the most rewarding time I've ever spent in software development.
I second that. I'm amazed at how quickly everybody got on board with the face-to-face communication requirements you put in place. Even James has agreed that any task that involve development or production has to go through the configuration control board.
Getting him assigned as the CCB chairman was a stroke of genius. Good call, Carmen.
Even a blind dog finds a bone every once in a while.
Call me when you're rolling out patterns. I want to come, have a coffee, and be bored.